Hello, hey guys, you alright? Firstly, I must apologise for a few things. Number one, I think I'm getting a cold, so if anything that I say is kind of incomprehensible, then I'm sorry. Um, Another apology, which is probably a bigger one. Sorry, no 4 month update because got to my 3 month one was like 3.5, nearly 4 months anyway. So by the time we get to 4 months, I had nothing more to say, which is a good thing for some people. So I had nothing to say there. So then I thought I'd wait just for the 5 months, which to me seems sensible, I guess. So 5 months tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 12th, is my 5 month dread anniversary. So here we go, and I am loving these. It's got to be said. I'm absolutely loving my dreads right now. They are tightened up really nicely. They kind of, a lot of them feel really mature. They feel like they've been there for years. Not that I'd know, but if dreads that have been there for years felt like this, I think I'd be pretty happy. As you can see, if I come closer, there you can see that. That's. I mean, it's not too bad. I've not palm rolled or anything today, so that's like straight out of bed. But palm rolling can normally just sort that out really well. So it's pretty good. Yeah, I'll just do a little bit of a swirl. Sorry, I've got a coat on, so here we go. So here you go. It's the closest I can get with this chair, I'm afraid. Sorry. Yeah, so I think part of the reason why these have gone really well actually is I'm afraid what I've done is I've stopped swimming. I used to swim lots and lots, but I'm just finding it's wrecking the dreads, and it meant that it took like 2 days maintenance to try and get them back to anything decent afterwards. So I made the decision to stop swimming just until they get mature. So I'm thinking around 6, 7, 8 months I'll start swimming again, which is cool because it means I'm just doing stuff differently now to try and keep fit. I say try, I fail all the time. So that's the first thing to say. It's just because the constant kind of wash dry, I think just killed it. Plus the chlorine, I don't know. I don't think the chlorine does immature dreads any good. But then that's just my opinion. Maybe with mature dreads it might help them tighten, but I don't know. It didn't make any sense because my dreads were looking nasty. The more that I swam, so we go, and it just meant that I had to do loads of maintenance, and I can't be bothered to do that. Yeah, so now I've noticed actually I'm using the Dreadhead shampoo. That's the only product I do use. Every so often I do spray the accelerator into it, but less so now. I've just noticed after washing, which I do once a week, maybe twice a week, that it's just less fluffy because the hair's nice and compact and tight in now. They're taking longer to dry, I notice. So the hairdryer is really valuable for that, I think, because I get what people say about the potential for dread rot. Because if all day, if you wash your hair in the morning and the dreads are still damp in the night, clothes. If you leave clothes in the tumble dryer tumble dryer? No, if you leave clothes in the washer like for a day and they're wet in the morning, and they're still wet in the evening, you know that they're going to start to smell. It's the same with hair, same principle, I guess. So yeah, next thing, regrowth. As you can see, I dyed my hair literally the day before I did my dreads, which meant that if you go back to the first video when they're being put in, it's so painful because the scalp was just like red raw from the bleach. So I'm just showing you kind of really the growth that's happened since. If you imagine, let's have a look. Let's choose this one, I guess. From the scalp to there, you've probably got maybe 1.5 inches, something like that. It's about 1.5 inches there, but I'd say about that much again of the dread wasn't actually dreaded when they were put in. So from 5 months, I don't know why, but my hair has grown loads. But as you can see now, what I'm starting to get now is like the natural unbleached hair going into the dread, and it seems to be working fairly well. Some people say that it will just naturally go in. It will, but it will just stay really fluffy, and I'm trying to keep it as tidy as possible. So it is down to the old crochet hook. I use this is a 0.6 actually, and there's no way that you're going to see, oh, I don't know, ooh. It's a 0.6 anyway, which is really small. I've stabbed my fingers with it so many times, and because I'm doing it the same way every time, it's in the same place, so I'm stabbing my finger at least once a day with the same hook in the same hole, and I tell you, it's so painful. I can't tell you how much I've had to actually pull the whole thing out of my finger, and it does go down deep if you're stabbing really hard. So yeah, that's dangerous. Be careful. But it works. It really does work on putting the new hair into the root, but it also really works for tidying up the ends and keeping the tips. I mean, these tips, since I blunted them, I've had to do now nothing to keep them going. They are staying blunted. There's just the odd little kind of, you can see that, the odd little kind of stray hair, which is either, I can either twist those together and poke that in there, twist it around the crochet hook and pull through, or actually by just putting the crochet hook in and doing this, it actually pulls the hair back up into it anyway. So either way is cool. Either way is cool. Oh yeah, another thing I've noticed actually, which is not about the hair, but it's more about the when you meet someone else with dreadlocks. Now, I don't know about what it's like where you're from, but where I'm from, there are very few people with dreadlocks. I don't live on the coast, and in the UK, there are fewer people with dreadlocks around the place. So when you meet someone with dreadlocks, it's like coming across someone that is your long lost relative, something like that. And you don't want to go, hey, because that's just silly, and people will think you're crazy, and people will run away from you. But you want to acknowledge that they've got dreads as well, that you've got dreads, and you're having this kind of dread connection thing going on. So there's the dread nod, I've noticed, and it's just as simple as like this. Simple, subtle, just like that as you walk past them. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, the dread nod. Yeah, I've been to 2 weddings actually recently. Actually, one the day after wedding, a day after each other, and there was this guy who, at the first one, you had really long, mature dreads, and then the second day I went to another wedding, and he looked exactly the same. He was the same build. I thought it was the same guy. I thought it was going to be really embarrassing that, hey, we're following each other to different weddings, but it wasn't. But that was cool. So yeah, practice the dread nod. Yeah, it's cool. Oh yeah, crazy news. Don't know what you think, but Harriet got rid of her dreads. For those of you that follow different dread videos, you're probably bound to follow her. She's the one that's XXC something XXX, and she took all her dreads out. 4 years old. It just shows that actually, yes, you can take your dreads out if you need to. They are non-permanent. I did actually meet someone at my uncle's funeral last week who thought that I'd put them in the morning and did them every day like it. She just hadn't got a clue. She just couldn't get her head around dreads. It just did not compute for her, but that was quite cute. But yeah, it is possible to take your dreads out. I need to say this again for those of you who perhaps are not dreaders. Yes, I do wash my hair. I wash my hair. I wash my hair once, twice a week at least. It is a myth that you don't wash your hair when you're trying to get dreadlocks. It is a myth that works. In fact, I would say washing it helps, keeps it healthy, because not washing your hair, they talk about, oh yeah, the natural oils in your hair be returning and that stuff from the scalp. Yeah, but if your hair's dreaded, their natural oils are going to have trouble flowing through the dreadlock anyway, because it just doesn't, it's not free like natural hair. I'm willing to be contradicted on this one, just a theory. But anyway, yeah, so I am really pleased with them. That's all I've got to say, really. I'm done. Keep commenting. And I'll see you next month. God bless. Bye.